terms expanded them to go up to 40 minutes.
Doing very well. So they use that term.
All of those things in education, of course, those things are important.
Is going to our heads and our lungs.
The affirmations in the mirror for about 2 minutes.
They make all sorts of mistakes. Without that,
this is amazing.
and doing new things for our brain.
Normal, in a sense, with all of the changes.
Which parts of the brain are used?
Them get out of their own way and understanding automatic patterns and
based on that map that we have.
There's neural connections that, mindfulness is a part of life.
Hi, Frog. How do you do? Yes, I'd like.
So if they are, just keep it aside. Your work, keep it.
Good emotions.
How to use their observations to inform assessments.
Circulation in their nervous system.
With your smiling.
Atul, thank you very much for allowing me to join you. Namaste to you, my friends.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our Early Childhood Global Pep Up Talk Show. I'm your host Atul Tyagi from India, and I'm also a co-founder of a preschool chain in the name of Wow Kids, having more than 150 centers spread across 20 states of our country. I thank you everyone for joining us today. I see we already have people who've joined us. Please comment so that we know that you are there and we can have an interaction much deeper with you. So for people who have joined us today, let me tell you that we do these pep-up shows, live streams once or twice in a month on Sundays, 9 p.m. my time, which is Indian Standard Time, and 10:30 Eastern Time. The point of these shows is to simply inspire others and bring out positivity during these difficult times. And I'm really excited today for the guest that we have on the show, Mr. Andres Ruiz from Arizona, US. Welcome, Andres. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to see what unfolds during this conversation.
Amazing. So friends, for all those who don't know Andres, this is the second time he has agreed to come on our show and share his views on a very, very important topic. Andres is a motivational speaker. He's also spoken on TEDx, and he's an author and a coach. Okay, so before we get started with our talk on the subject that we have chosen, Andres, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a motivational speaker and a coach. And I pretty much, what I do with my clients is I help them pretty much have that confidence to believe in themselves so that they can take their life to the next level and, pursue their goals and dreams and ultimately find their life's purpose, just like I did. At one point in my life, I was in a really tough position. I was working at a job that I hated. I was really unhappy with my life. And, I started seeking and started finding some things that I wanted to do. Stand-up comedy led to motivational speaking and then coaching. And then now here we are. Now I'm doing what I love. This is what I do. And I am here to inspire others to do what inspires them. So that's pretty much who I am, and just here to serve.
Excellent. And nice to have you, my friend. So, today we have a very important topic of our discussion, and it's dreams, goals, and action. So, Andres, what is the importance of dreaming big and then setting goals to achieve those dreams in one's life?
That's a great question. So I know for me, before I even got into setting any goals, any dreams, I didn't have a vision for my future. And because I did not have a vision for my future, I was bored with life. I felt like every day was just so mundane, just so boring. And I just kept doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. For some reason, I was expecting for the world to come and help me, to come and save me. I felt like I was in a really tough situation, and I was always blaming the outside world as to why am I not getting what I want? Why me? I was always thinking, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why am I not getting what I want? And really what it came down to was because I was getting exactly what I was providing to the world. So I love what Earl Nightingale says. He says, our rewards are in exact proportion to the value that we bring to the world. So if we are constantly just providing very minimal value and we are expecting more from the world, then we have it all wrong. And that's what I think many times what happens is we don't think about the service that we can bring to people. We think that if we just help one person one time, then I should get paid for it. If we just do one good thing, then I should get paid for it. But what we don't start thinking about is, how can I be of more value to the world? And so for me personally, what had to change was my personality, who I was, because who I was before, I was lazy. I didn't want to do any work. I was always trying to do things where I was getting people to do something for me. I was very greedy. I didn't care about anybody else but myself. I was always thinking me, me, me. And I had these values that were not in alignment with me getting more rewards. And so I think that is the first step in order for you to be able to accomplish your goals and your dreams. First, you have to know who you are. Like, who is it that you want to be? Not as to like, who are you because of everybody else? You see, in this life, we are somebody because of society, because of our family, our friends. We're trying to please everybody. We're trying to be somebody that is not even us. It's really based on our beliefs. It's really based on our values, the way that we were brought up. And so when I decided to change my values and actually have an intention, and this is another thing, you have to be very intentional as to who you want to become. So with my intention, I wanted to change that. I was not going to be drinking alcohol like I used to before. Like I wasn't going to drink to get drunk. That was one of my values. I know it may sound like, really, that was one of your values, but yeah, I had to change who I was. I was always getting drunk, like going out on the weekends and just drinking a lot. And also another one of my values was I don't want to be a person who criticizes people anymore. I want to praise people. I want to lift people up. That one was really hard for me because I grew up around a family who we were always making fun of each other. And I was always making fun of everybody. And so since I made fun of everybody, a lot of people didn't even want to be around me because they're like, oh, if we hang out with Andres, I know he's going to make fun of me or he's going to be a jerk. And so I had to change that because nobody wants to be around somebody who is always making fun of you, making fun of your goals and your dreams. And so for me, this is part of goal setting right here. This is huge because if you don't have the values that are in alignment with your goals, you're not going to achieve them because one day you'll hang out with those people who criticize a lot and you'll fall back into being that critical person, or you'll go with those people who get drunk and you'll start getting drunk again. And this is, I believe, the first and the most important step in order for you to really, truly change and pursue your goals and dreams, because these values are going to inspire you to eliminate any fears, any self-doubt that is going through your mind. Because my values, I can tell you right now, it's, I'm playful, patient, empathy, compassion, energetic, fearless, love, gratitude, service, joy, appreciation, enthusiastic. So I know these already, like they're instilled in me. And I continue to speak them because I want to be that person, and I am that person. and I want to inspire others to be this way. And the only way that I can inspire others is by inspiring myself first and showing and being that change that I would like to see out in the world. It all starts with me. It all starts with us.
Yes, I completely agree with your views. I want to give a big shout out to people who have joined. We have Siddharth, we have Alicia, we have Claire Devlin, we have Mike who's watching us and listening to us. We have my friend Mr. Bhatti, and we have a lot of others who have joined. Please, if you're there, please comment so that we can say hi to all of you. Okay. So to continue with our conversation with Andres, why do people have trouble pursuing their goals and dreams?
Okay, so I believe the reason why some people are having trouble with pursuing their goals and their dreams is, and I'll tell you exactly some of the stories of my clients that I have. For example, there is a client of mine that I had who was, early 50s, was pursuing goals and dreams that were maybe a little bit different from their traditional way of thinking. So when she was trying to pursue this goal, this dream of being a life coach, a speaker, there was still that belief that you have to have a job in order for you to be able to sustain, making money. And also making sure that you are in pursuit of your goals and your dreams. And so her family would tell her, hey, I don't know if you should leave your job. You have a really good job. Like, why would you leave this job and try to be a coach and a speaker? And so for this person, the one that was holding her back was her mother. And because her mother was holding her back, she had that belief that since her mother was holding her back, she was thinking to herself, oh man, my mom, she thinks that I can't do this without a job. I can't do this without a job. And so I need to be in a job. And so she was having these limiting beliefs about her job, and that, should I leave my job? Or should I stay in this job? Is life coaching for me? Is pursuing being a speaker for me? And I asked her a question. Hey, why don't you just speak with your mom and let her know how she makes you feel? So she finally had that discussion. And then her mother said, oh my God, I didn't know that I was making you feel this way. I did not know that me telling you that you should go back to your job was making you self-doubt yourself about being a coach or a speaker. And she was like, oh my God, I could have had this discussion with her years ago, but she was just too scared to have that confrontation. And because we are scared of what other people might think or say about us, we don't have those discussions with these people who love us and they're coming from a good place. But because we allow these people to continue to instill these beliefs in us, it stops us in our path, our goals and our dreams. And so I think that one of the biggest ones is we care too much about what people think or say about us. That is
right. That's something that I've realized, that we, a lot of us really think about what the society or what the others will think, about all these things.
Yeah.
So that's and we don't in that thought that what the society will think about my goals or what I'm trying to do, people lose out the focus on their goals sometimes. That's what I feel. I copy that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You lose sight in your goals, and because you're and this is what I dealt with too. I was always worried about what will people think or say about me, and sometimes, and don't get me wrong, even to this day, sometimes I will be around people and I'll almost feel like a fake, I have that imposter syndrome sometimes come up because I've completely changed my life. I'm no longer the person that I used to be. And sometimes I'm around those people that, that I used to do things with them, get drunk or do, and, this is family and friends, sometimes, these people, hey, it's there. You can't really, say, hey, get out of my life type of thing. You can definitely, make sure that you don't spend as much time with them like you used to. But at the same time, there's going to be those times that you're going to be around these people that sometimes it's going to make you think, man, is this really me? Like, am I being a hypocrite? Like, I'm trying to motivate people, inspire people, but then you have that thing in your head. So it happens to me too. I'm human. I'm not nobody special, and that's why I have mentors. I have coaches to make sure that they keep me accountable and to remind me of my greatness. We all have greatness within us. We really do. Everybody that's listening to this conversation right now, you have greatness. I don't know you, but I know you have greatness. I know you have a lot of potential within you that is waiting to just come out. And the world is waiting for your greatness. The world is waiting for you to step out of your comfort zone and say, you know what? I know there's more that I can do in this life. I know I can do more, but something's holding you back. And it's just the fear. It's always the fear, and what we have to do is we have to overcome those fears, but it all starts with the first step. And I think a lot of people, what happens is that they have trouble starting small, because if you start small, let's say, for example, if you're a CEO or somebody who is like a therapist, and you're like, I don't want to be a therapist anymore. I would like to be a coach. And then this is another one of my clients. But because I worked so hard for this certification that I worked for like 8 years to become this person, and I don't know if I really would want to like let that go, because that's who they feel they are, and we always are the ones that, like Griselda said, we hold ourselves back. We are our own worst enemy. And because we hold ourselves back, we have this talk in our head that is constantly saying, no, don't do that. You spend so much time in college for you to get this degree. And how are you going to start something small? And what if you fail? Wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Yes. No, that is the biggest thing, the fear of failure. People, we don't take steps sometimes, just because of the fear. See, there are a lot of times, you dream a lot. You have big goals in life, but you don't take action. You don't take that first action. And a lot of us only believe that you need to take a big action to reach your goals. You really need a lot of money, or you need a great potential to take that first step. So even Debbie writes, finally, hi Debbie. So you've joined finally. Great. She was having some problem in technology. Finally, she joined. So she says, baby steps. I'm always encouraging others to take baby steps. Yes. It's, I think, Robin Sharma, whom I follow, very good motivational speaker, he says that small little steps daily small little steps to your goals will take you, bring you stunning results. So every day, take one small step, period. Mm-hmm. All right. So we have so many people now joining us. We have Johannes, who is joining from Austria. Hi, Johannes. How are you? Yes. Catherine, who has joined us. Then Daniela is here with us. Claire Devlin. Lot of other friends. I missed out saying hi to some of my other friends like Shalini. Hi, Shalini. Then Parminder, how are you? Hi, Sangeeta Saraf Bhatnagar. Hi. So I thought I'll just give and then we have Famida Sheikh. Hi, Famida. Okay. Hello. So move on to our next question. I think that's the real thing, that how can we overcome the fear of following our own dreams or goals. So that's the one important question that I have, that how can one overcome the fear of following their own dreams and goals?
Mm-hmm.
Because that fear is there. I might lose a lot of money, I might lose this, I might lose that, or I might have a bad name in the society, or so that there's something that holds back. And that negativity is always in the mind, and it keeps working in your subconscious mind the more every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the way? Right.
Yeah. So the thing is, many times we are constantly living in the past. we are constantly every single day waking up thinking about 90% of our thoughts are in the past. And if we are constantly living in the past, there's no way that we can create a brighter future. And so our thoughts is, I believe, one of the biggest reasons why we are not pursuing our goals and our dreams, because we're constantly running the same program, the same movie over and over again. And because we continue to run the same movie over and over again, we continue to still live in the past. And if we wake up and we do the same thing, you know, grab our phone, go into social media, look at what's going on in the news, and then we just go to the bathroom, get ready, and then go to work, do our work, go home, eat, go to sleep, wake up and do the exact same thing all over again. And nothing really changes. And so what we have to do is we have to start doing something new every single day. And like you said, it's a tiny step. But in order for us to start doing something new, we actually have to do it. A lot of people don't do it. They think about it. They think, you know what, this is a great idea. Maybe I could start my own business one day. And then we continue saying one day. One day is not a day. So it has to be today when you get started. But we said tiny steps. But another thing is that we have to reprogram our mind. And I'll give you an activity of what I do, which is called it's called Jandris. So my buddy John and I, we came up with this idea of every day we're going to speak out what we're going to create in the world. And so it's visualization, but with the spoken word. So I'll just give you an example. Let me see here. The risk has to calculate or a blind risk. Or a blind risk. Okay.
So he's saying, suppose, you know, if you have a dream and you make a goal and you decide to take the first step or maybe the, you know, decision, and suppose you have a family and you don't have that money, I'm not sure, you know, so you take a calculated risk in starting your own business, or you just can take a blind risk. Okay, I believe in myself, and I will do it, and I will make sure that there is no looking back.
Okay, I love the question. And I've actually done both of them. So I'll give you an example. Like I've taken a blind risk where I went to a presentation. I got really excited. I was saying, yeah, you know, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to quit my job. And I ended up quitting my job. I left my job. I took out all my 401k. You know, I took out all the money that I had. And I said, okay, now I'm going to live my dream. But I didn't even know what my dream was. I just took a blind risk thinking that maybe I could be a coach. But I was in fear the whole time. And so because of that, I wasn't taking action. And because I wasn't taking action, the money started to run out and the anxiety started to creep up. I was getting really scared. And I said to myself, man, I got to get a job again. So then I had to get a job, started working again. And I was really just not moving forward. I was like, oh man, I'm back at a job again. I'm not happy again. So then the next time I pursued my goal and my dream, but I said, okay, as a part-time coach and a part-time inspirational speaker, I need to make this amount of money for me to leave my job. And then once I started to make the money that I needed to support my family and myself, that's when I said, okay, now it's time to pull the trigger and leave my job, because now I'm making the same amount of money as a coach and a speaker and working this 160-hour-a-month job when I could be doing coaching and speaking for like 5-10 hours a week. And I'll be making the same amount of money that I was making at my job. So I said, now it's time to take the leap. And now I can invest those 150 hours, or no, let's say those 120 hours that I would have been working at another job and investing it in the coaching and then make more money. But that was a calculated risk right there. But the blind risk, that one I don't recommend to anybody, because that one was scary. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was lost. So yeah, go ahead.
So one small, because one of my friends asked me that now he has another question, and is it necessary to have a backup before taking a chance? What if we don't have a backup? See, it's like, okay, I'll tell you what the thing is. A lot of my friends are working, and they're working in corporate jobs where the career is very good, but now they're hitting a ceiling in their career. Okay, they're working for some multinational company, and they're hitting a ceiling. They feel that they're not moving forward, and salaries are not rising the way they were rising few years earlier. Now they want to start something on their own. Okay, so should they leave that white collar nice paying job immediately and start their goal, or should they start taking small steps simultaneously along with the job and move forward? So I have a point here. See, I'll tell you my story. So we both, me and my wife, we both were working in corporates. Okay, we both were working in corporates, and there was a time when we realized that one of us, let's leave the job and start a business. So I was continuing to work while my wife, she left her job and she started a preschool. And that's where it became a calculated risk that, okay, we are not going to lose both the salaries. One of us is going to take that risk of leaving that good white collar job, and the other one will continue. And even for some time while this business was still working, and I always had that feeling that, yes, let me now join, I still had that thing that, okay, my salary is still funding a lot of money, we need more money to grow this business. Let me continue working for another 1 year and fund the business, maybe keep 1 or 2 more extra employees to build it. Okay, so that was a very calculated risk that we had taken. And once we were very, very sure that we have taken off and now there is no looking back, then I left my job and I finally joined her. So this is how we moved from our corporate life of working in MNCs to this business of preschools. Okay, so that's I thought I'll just share with Parminder and others who are watching.
Yeah, that was very powerful.
What is your view on that? There are a lot of people right now everywhere in the world who are facing that turbulence. There's job cuts, there's salary cuts, and there are a lot of people who are working from, and they're realizing now they want to do something of their own. Now, is it a good idea to leave the job, decide, or make an action plan, see the positives and negatives? So what we do is, I think you must evaluate, what if I don't do this? Okay, what if I don't do this? What if I do this? So you need to have those positives and negatives in mind and then take a decision. It has to be properly laid out in a plan before you go ahead and take that action. Yes, Andres, so what are your views on this?
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. That was very powerful. I think we got a lot of insight. Well, I mean, I'm sure that everybody got a lot of insight from your personal story. And that's what I think is very powerful when we hear somebody else's story and what they've been through, what they went through. Like, for example, right now I'm coaching somebody who I'm coaching this person, and right now they have up to 2 years of finances, like in the bank, where they're set for 2 years.
Absolutely. Yes. So that is what a blind risk is all about, that, okay, I don't have anything. I'm putting all eggs that I have in one basket. So you should have comfortable savings for at least a year or two. And now with this pandemic, which has hit, people have realized the power of savings in their bank, because this is the time when a lot of businesses have gone out of business and they're having a tough time. People earlier used to think about 6 months, 1 year. Now they have to think of a little longer, that it could last a little longer. Tough times can last for a little longer. So you need to have more savings. So rather than putting all your eggs into the basket and, putting that, so you should reserve funds for at least a year or two till the time you actually grow your business till the time you're very sure that yes, I will take off. Okay, so you should have those funds with you, and then you take a calculated risk.
Yeah,
that's what I feel personally.
Yeah, no, yeah, and so like I'll just give you an example. Like for this person, they have like 2 years, and they do feel a little bit scared to take the risk. But what they're thinking to themselves is, you know what, man, right now I feel that I'm in this corporate job, and this corporate job is just draining me. It's draining my energy. It's making me feel really sad, really depressed. You know, I feel like I'm burning out. And because they feel like they're burning out, they're telling themselves, but I want to do this. I want to get this goal, this dream. And so that's where I come into play. And that's why I think it's crucial for you to have a coach. It's
Absolutely. Yes.
Everybody.
Exactly. So you bang on the time. Exactly. See, for people, you know, I feel a lot of times your friend or your colleague may not be able to give you the right advice, or you may not believe that. You may question, or you may have that in mind that he himself is not that much successful. I know him, you know.
Yeah.
So that advice may not work for you, or you may not take that advice seriously. So that is where I think there are coaches now which are available who have that I will say training, or they are trained, they have an experience of helping individuals, helping corporates to go to the next level. In fact, to identify the goals and then make an action plan, and they are the ones who will help them drive to reach those goals. So that is where the coach also comes. So I have Preeti who is sharing one of our ways of taking any decision. You know, there are a lot of times that we have to take some really big decisions on investment. So this is what we do, which he has written. Something which we did and still practice is that we have a whiteboard. Let me tell you. So when we started, now we don't have. We had a whiteboard in one of our rooms, wherein we used to draw. We used to write the problem or the question, and then we used to draw 2 lines. You know, we used to divide in 2 parts and write that what if we do it and what if we don't. So what are the answers? So what will happen if I don't buy this car? I am just giving you an example. What will happen if I don't buy this car? So I have divided them into 2 parts and then answer. Okay, I will not be able to move. I will, there will be a lot of money that will be gone in buying a car. So there are those pros and cons that you write down, and when you pen it down, I feel when you write it down, you get lot of clarity. And that is what a lot of people don't do. I still do it, and I still do it with everything. So this is what I'm sharing with my viewers, that this is a very powerful way of taking a decision. That what if I don't leave this job? There will be a column, what are the pros and cons? So pros are, okay, I will get $1,000 as monthly salary. What are the cons? I will not be happy. I will every day spend 15 hours in office. I will miss my family. So those are the pros and cons. And finally, when you write all of them, you will be able to take a decision. Okay, so that is the way we take it.
Yeah.
So Andres, what is the most common habit that you've seen in your clients that stop them from taking action?
So the most common habits, and it varies, you know, and it's just, and it's like that one thing that I mentioned is just getting started. You know, it's like they think so far ahead in the future as to like what exactly it is that they need to do. And they start thinking about how they compare themselves a lot too. You know, for example, with coaches, there's a lot of people who say, well, man, I can't get up to like having 100 clients or 20 clients. But what I do is I tell them, let's focus on client number 1. Where can we get client number 1? Where can you get your first speaking engagement? How can you start that yoga practice out in the park, even if it's free? And it's just getting started. And the habit really is the habit of fear. And it's just constantly the fear holding them back. And because that fear is constantly holding them back, and because their environment is not supporting them, or maybe their environment is not doing what they want to do, then they stay in that habitual environment, and that environment is causing them to just stay stuck. And that's why, like you said, a friend, you can reach out to them, they can give you advice, but if they're not doing what it is that you want to do, then you're asking the wrong people. Be very aware of who you're asking for advice. And that's why it's so much better when you have your own coach, because I'll give you an example. The other day I was coaching a mortgage lender. She's a very powerful woman, and she shared a lot of very personal stuff that she told me, see, the thing is, I can share everything with you because I'm not attached to you personally. You don't have, like, I can't talk to my husband like this. I can't talk to my mom, my sister like this, because I know I'll be judged, or I know that they'll tell me something that is going to get me upset. But when I'm talking to you, I share with you everything. And I've only been coaching this person for a few weeks since she became my client, but she says that she feels so much better that she finally spoke out the way that she felt. And now that she got all of these internal challenges that she had out of her, now she gets to have more clarity as to what exactly she desires. And you mentioned something key right there, which is clarity. You know, in order for you to accomplish a goal, you have got to have clarity as to what exactly it is that you want to do. And that's why, what is your intention? What is like a lot of people, a lot of coaches that I've noticed is that they just don't have clarity, and they don't know exactly like who they want to serve, who they want to work with, or some people just don't have clarity as to what their next step is going to be. And it's thinking about, in this present moment, what can you create? And this is the only moment that there is to create. You know, like the past, you know, it's done. There's nothing we can do about it. The future, we don't know what's going to do, but what we know, what we can do is, in this moment, we can decide to take action by seeking clarity. And this is another habit that a lot of people have, is that it's sometimes it could be that and I'll tell you from my personal experience, that I was lazy. I just didn't want to do that because, I don't want to do market research. I don't want to do this. But if you don't know what your client wants, then how are you going to be able to have them work with you, because you don't even know what they want? If you don't know what they want, if you don't know what their desires are, and you want to give them something that you think they should get, they don't care. They don't care what you want to give. They care about you solving their problem and being that bridge to give them the solution. And so I think that the first thing is that the reason why a lot of people struggle is clarity. People don't see clarity. And that's why we must seek clarity in order for us to be able to know exactly what it is that we want to do. And that's why I tell people, when I mentioned earlier, you got to get clarity on your values of who you want to become. You know, do you still want to be that person that drinks a lot? Do you still want to be overweight? You know, that was another one of those things. I don't eat because I'm bored, because I would eat a lot. I would eat a lot because I was bored. And that's another thing. Like, just like you said with you and your wife, how you make a pros and a cons, make a pros and a cons for your health. You know, because if you don't take care of your health, if you don't take care of your relationships, if you don't take care of your career, then you're not going to be any good to your business or to your family. Because this is another one, is that I tell people, is like, if you don't have your health and your body breaks down, then what good are you for the business? What good are you for your family? You know, so I'm talking about goals, not just in career and also in relationships, but goals for yourself. That self-care is so crucial. And if you don't have enough energy to accomplish your goals and your dreams, then you never will, because you're constantly either being sick or you can't move because you're overweight, whatever the case may be. You got to take care of all of these areas in your life in order for you to perform at 100%.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Andres. So we have one more comment, which is coming from
Griselda.
Yes.
Yeah, important to take ownership of our faults as a person. I like that. Yeah. It's everything that happens to us, it's our fault. You know, take personal responsibility. And another one, keep your word to yourself. A lot of people, they don't keep their word to themselves and to others. And so then people say, well, this person is somebody that's not reliable, or they don't keep their words to us. And if we don't keep our words to ourselves as well, we're letting ourselves down. We're not living by our values. So yeah, I love that. What Griselda said.
Yes. So Parminder says the goals should be decided before we start the journey, or once we start the journey, or it should be dynamic and flexible. That's a very, very, very different question, which, Parminder asked that.
Yeah.
Do the goals change? Should they change, or rather, should they change depending on the situation or the circumstances? Or
That's a great question. So I'll give you an example. Like when this pandemic happened, I had to change. I had to pivot. And sometimes you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to change it up because, things are going to change in the world. So you have to change. So I was giving speeches in person. I had to adjust to Zoom and give speeches on Zoom now. And so like through the journey, it's definitely something that is going to continue to change. The only thing is like, you just have to get started. And once you get started, you're going to either have to change it up, or the world will force you to change it up. And also revisiting your goals on a weekly basis, daily basis, to make sure that, you are on the right path. You are doing the exact things that you need to be doing in order for us to move forward.
So there are I would like to add here. So there is something called goal, and there are those there is an action plan, and there are some actions to reach that goal. There may be, say, 20 actions to reach that goal. Okay, so you may also change those actions. But yes, I want to become a billionaire, that goal remains. Or I want to buy a house, that goal or that dream, that remains. But how will I achieve that? There will be several actions where they may also dynamically change. Okay, so that is one of my view here. I'm not sure. One of our viewers, I believe, taking advice from wrong people stops them from going ahead with their plans or taking action. Seeking advice or be amongst people you inspire to be.
Yes, well said.
So this is a very, very amazing comment. I'll just try to find out, because the StreamYard is not allowing me to see that who has written this.
Mm-hmm. And it's
yes. So yes, you need to take the right people to guide you, and that is one of the reasons that Enrique, there's so many people that their job is to advise and show you the right path. So it is irrespective. They will not be your relatives. They will not be your known people. And the only motive of a coach is to take you to the path, to achieve those goals, to guide you, to keep on pushing you. Okay, so I think that is where the right coach comes, and they can be your friends, but generally those friends whom you take advice may not have time, may not talk to you, may not be able to give you that time, that energy, and that way forward that you are looking forward to reach that goal. But if you have a coach, who can really know your plan and can advise you, then I think you will be able to reach and shorten your time time to reach that goal. So that is one of the things that
yes.
All right, then we have somebody. What I am today is because of my actions and decisions till yesterday. Okay, somebody has written that. Yes. So
yes, and you know what? Another thing is like, your decisions. That they do. Today is because of my actions, decisions, and sometimes it's also your indecisions. Which is a decision. If you don't make that decision, you'll stay stuck, and you'll stay. You'll have regrets, and we don't want that. So and like Atul mentioned right now that you got to have a coach. And for everybody that's watching, thank you for your support, first of all. But I also want to give a gift to everyone on this call who would be interested in a free coaching session with myself. I would love to have you. So if you're ready to take your life to the next level, I would love to give you a free coaching session so that I can help you, so we can set up a strategy for that big vision that you desire, eliminate that fear that is stopping you, and also work on your energy, because you need energy to take your life to the next level. So I'd be happy to give that to anybody who is viewing right now. Actually, the first 5 people who respond, I'll give those first 5 free sessions.
Amazing. I think that's a very good opportunity for people who are watching. So Andres is going to give a free sessions to people, and also has today announced his free masterclass for people. So what is the, can you give a little more information about this masterclass, Andres?
Definitely. And I'm just putting it in the link in the comment section. So,
Sure.
Okay. So pretty much this workshop right here is it's a masterclass that I created myself so that people can be prepared for the year 2021. So this is going to be an experience that it'll help you rewire the way that you envision your goals. And it's going to be through like physical experiences. You'll learn to approach goal setting in like a ways which will ignite your curiosity, and it'll inspire you to take your life to the next level. And so there's going to be meditation in there. There's going to be a lot of physical experiences that we're going to have together. So this is not just going to be a passive masterclass where I'm just going to be speaking. We're actually going to be doing the work, because when I do masterclass, I like for people to be engaged, to be involved. And that's exactly what I'm going to do for everybody. So if you're ready to make the year 2021 your year, then this masterclass will get jump started before the year 2021 even starts. And this, like I said, this masterclass is something that I want to just inspire other people, so that year 2021, when they show up, they'll say, oh, wow, okay, I have clarity as to what exactly it is that I desire. So that's a little bit about what it is. And I put the link in there. If you want to sign up, you click on the link, make sure you confirm it, and then you'll get the Zoom link. So you have to go sometimes to your promotions, emails. So just make sure you click on the link, you confirm it, and then you will get the link. Some people have been having trouble confirming it. So just confirm it, and then you will get the link to the Zoom call, which will be this Tuesday at, it is at 4 p.m. PST Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, so 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll have to actually check what is the timing going to be in India. But anyways, we will make a design and we will float it on the group for more viewers to for it to reach to all the viewers or all the group members, so that we can have as many people benefit from this masterclass.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it is how long? What is the duration of this masterclass again, Andres? I think
it's an hour and 15 minutes long. And
Okay.
at the end of the masterclass, if you have any questions, I'll be free to stay there a little bit longer just to answer your questions for anybody that would like their questions answered. And so I mean, it's going to be an hour and 15 minutes long. If it goes a little bit longer, that's fine. But I also want to let everybody know that after that, there will be a replay, and the replay will be available to the people who do sign up. So if you don't show up, you will have access to that replay up until Friday, and then I'm going to take it down. So it'll be available from Tuesday to Friday, and then on Friday it will be taken down.
Amazing. I think that's a great, fantastic giveaway by my friend Andres. Andres, it's been a pleasure again to talk to you. We've been talking for 50 minutes and we've had a very good interaction. So many people have benefited from this show that we have done today.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm grateful.
Amazing. And I request all the members of our group, whoever, please join this masterclass. It's absolutely free. There is no charge. Just fill the form. Make sure that you log in. If you have any difficulties, please write to me also. Andres is also a part of the group, and we might post some small videos, maybe in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, Andres, just to remind people to join your masterclass. Okay.
Awesome.
We will
Yeah.
also promote it again.
Awesome. And just to let everybody know, if you're interested in that free session, send me a DM. You can send me a DM to Andres Ruiz. Send me a friend request. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to get to know everybody in this community. I'm always looking to connect with like-minded people. So just send me a message or just friend me. We'd love to get to know you more.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Andres,
My
for
pleasure.
sharing your thoughts on this lovely Pep Up Talk show. I also thank all the viewers on Facebook for watching us live and participating on this pop-up talk show. May you all have a lovely day. Stay safe and, see you next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, Andres. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.